Alright, today we'll be exploring Rita AI, a comprehensive tool with numerous LLMs integrated into its platform for chatting, generating images, videos, and even audio. All this is thanks to the folks at GamsGo. You'll find their store link in the description below if you want to check out their current pricing. Let's begin. The tool actually functions quite simply. It works like a standard LLM, allowing us to create chats and conduct deep research where we can choose writing styles and customize research settings. We also have image generation capabilities and even a dedicated section for creating images with all types of models, like Nano Banana, Midjourney version 7, Flux 1.1 Pro Ultra, ChatGPT Image, and Kling version 2. We have some really powerful models that we'll be testing in this video to see how well they perform within the platform. We can also generate videos using VEO3, VO3, Fast, VO3 Pro, Midjourney V1, Kling V or Kling 1.6, and Gen 4 Turbo. And finally, we have audio generation options as well. We can create songs apparently only through Suno, and it seems they don't allow us to generate any kind of sound effects or anything similar. But we're going to test everything. First, let's check out the chat section. As always, if you want to learn how to generate images and create good prompts, there's a free ebook in the description that you can access anytime. You can simply access it for free as our gift to you. As you can see, it has many tools like quick questions, writing, translation, and more. We also have access to both the Rita model and the Rita Pro model. I think to demonstrate its potential, one way we can test it is by asking it to generate an image, or better yet, a web page. Here's the prompt. We'll ask it to act as an expert copywriter and basically generate a landing page for an artificial intelligence course. So let's do that. We'll ask the platform to generate it using Claude Opus 4.5, which in my opinion is the best model for this task. As you can see, sending a message costs 40 credits. If we click on Improve Plan, we'll see that we have a quota of 1,200 credits per month. There are no higher quotas, so we really need to think carefully about each message. So we send the prompt, hit send, and a new chat is created where Opus will do its thing. Now let's look at the results. Let's move on to the Rita AI result. Remember before showing it that Rita AI is free, especially the normal version without any quota restrictions. The Pro model is also free if we pay the small subscription they request. But let's see if it's really worth it. This is the landing page it generated for me. We can see that, well, it has a title. The aesthetics are definitely not the best. We can see that at least the buttons do work. Therefore, the page logic is at least functional. Here's where we would theoretically register. This would work with a back-end custom email marketing button or whatever is needed. Here a button is overlapping. Well, we can see it's very far off, especially aesthetically. I also think the writing is very poor. Let's see what Claude generated for us, okay? After spending those 40 credits, we're now seeing a completely different aesthetic. We even see a navigation bar, though I'm not sure if it's functional. We're seeing this is clearly another level. Master AI in 8 weeks. Click Enroll now, and it moves us with a small slide instead of jumping there. It's basically the same structure we requested below for registration, okay? Even if we click, it tells us we need to fill in the fields. They've provided some examples here. It talks about who we are. Obviously, it's made up. And we're seeing that Claude Opus 4.5 quote S ability to generate pages is exactly what we expected. Absolutely incredible. It has done exactly what we asked for. Well, I went looking for the toughest test I could find, and now we'll move on to image generation to see how the platform's models perform. Specifically, we have access to Nano Banana Pro itself. I've asked it to create a 16:9 image. It would be nice if there were more options. I mean, this image here, me in the white hoodie. Also worth noting that if we leave the page, we lose all information. Quite a negative aspect of the platform. And after uploading 2 images, it lets me upload more, okay? Very interesting. Another downside I see is that you can't read prompts very well, right? While you're typing or whatever, it's quite difficult. That should also have a solution, but let's focus on what matters. The image quality. I've asked it to create an image. In 1K, if I increase to 2K, it costs 7 credits. If I increase to 4K, it costs 10. What concerns me most is how long it might take to generate the image. So we're going to generate it in 2K, okay? We'll hit generate and see. Actually, we'll do it in 1K since I don't need higher. Let's hit generate and see what we get. It says estimated time 4 minutes, and we can click generating background to continue working. It would be nice here, right, to still have access to the previous configuration. It would be great to access previous settings to avoid having to re-upload all the images again, which is pretty tedious. Looks like my image is ready now. Seems like it's here. Not bad, not bad at all for the image, not bad. I'll tweak the prompt a bit, but it's really good and it generated very quickly, huh? I also wanted to see, here we can edit the prompt, right? Which is what I was explaining, but it would be cool to do it without needing to edit the prompt directly. We have options to regenerate the image and save it, but honestly, this looks really good. It's generated with Nano Banana Pro. We could try other models like Midjourney V7, but what's the cost? Well, the cost goes much higher, and Nano Banana Pro is actually enough, but let's try it anyway since we have access. Why not? Here's the next image, and now we have a good result. What was actually failing, I won't lie, was the prompt itself, not the model. Now we have a super awesome image. I'll save this one. It'll probably be the thumbnail, but let's try some other models, okay? I mentioned I was going to test V7, which is the latest model. GPT image 1.5 isn't available, so I don't think we'll be testing GPT image. So let's go with V7.16.9, which allows us to set different image references. I'm putting the character there, not sure if it saves, okay? The character is saved. For the style, honestly, I have no idea, but for images, we'll use the same reference to see what happens, and the reference logo. For style, it lets us choose here. Let's select auto, I think. We could go with auto or realistic before I mess it up, but anyway. There are more settings. Fast mode or relaxed mode, style variation, content, and high quality. Yes, okay. For similarity, I'll set it to 100, right? Or maybe 80 or 90. Okay, I'll paste the prompt. We have the prompt generator here, by the way, which we could use to optimize the prompt, and I'll hit generate to see what it does. This now costs 20 credits, not what it was costing us before. Well, I've been trying to generate images with all kinds of models, right? From Midjourney DALL-E 0.6, use 7 Flux, and none allowed me to do it, not even Kling's X, except I think Kling version 2, which, well, I gave this reference with not much configuration, and it generated this image somewhat close to what I asked for. It's Kling W2 is nowhere near what Nano Banana can generate, and it's a shame I couldn't try the others. I understand they're probably having an internal error, and I wanted to test Nano Banana Pro at 4K to see how the image turns out, and roughly how long it takes to generate. As always, truth is Nano Banana doesn't disappoint, I have to say. And there we have the image. It's the same model, okay? From Nano Banana. What do you think? Is this image better? Is this other one better? Well, let's save it. I'd like to hit regenerate to create another one. We can see that quality now matters much more, right? And regarding properties, we're talking about much more interesting dimensions, okay? So yeah, you can tell, right? You can see the difference in size and quality, okay? So that's really great. And here's this last image, okay? Comparing this image with the first one, they're very close. Honestly, both look cool, I'm not going to lie. I can't really tell which is better, but maybe this last one is better, right? I see it as much cleaner. Obviously, it has much higher quality. Now let's move on to video generation. Here we already have many more models. I see three fast. We're seeing that IC3 costs 40 credits, 35 credits, 150 credits for IC3 Pro. I mean, wow, huh? It's really, they're high prices, but these are the current prices for these types of models. Since they've given me access to try it, let's go with the Pro version. It shows me standard quality, doesn't let me add any reference. I just make the request, and that's it. In Midjourney, it does let me add a reference, 5 seconds worth. It's true it doesn't let me specify how long I want. Alright, let's proceed with the prompt. Generate 150 credits. This video is going to take about 20 minutes to generate. What did I ask for? I asked it to generate a scene with dragons at a rock concert. Everything super epic, okay? That's what I requested. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it doesn't give me an error. It would be really cool, honestly. I have to say that for this tool, generating videos with these shots, I don't find it the most interesting, okay? But we'll give a final verdict at the end. Alright, well, while this generates, let's go to audio and sound. There isn't much selection here. We have Suno AI. We can define the style, but here's the prompt. We can request instrumental music or with lyrics, okay? Or give it an idea of how we want it to sing. Let's add lyrics. All of this, obviously, I've generated with artificial intelligence, okay? just wanted to see a bit what results we get. Okay, we'll click create. It costs 20 credits, a normal price, and will generate in about 2 minutes. Oh, it says it failed. The problem is, since it doesn't tell me why it failed, I can't really know what to change. I'll try instrumental music as a last attempt. Well, it failed. Everything failed. Fortunately, the video has already been generated from what it told me. Let's see it. Not sure if it can play. It won't let me play it in the platform, but it does let me save it. Okay. It's a 10 megabyte video. Ah, look, it's playing there. Okay. There we have the video. Hey, cool, what I asked for. Don't mess with me. Yeah, I do notice it's really low quality. Rise up and face the fire. Whoa. Wow. It did it with the volume and all, but super well, right? It did it super well. All right, let's give a final verdict. But first, let's check out the plan a bit. The plan is 12 euros a month, and yearly it's not even 10. We're talking 867. It has auto renewal turned on, okay? There are other plans, it seems. We have the 699 one with 200 credits, and they don't explain much more. Very well, my verdict, the Rita and Rita Pro models, well, we've seen some testing. They're way below other professional models. True, they let us generate and use them unlimited, but, well, we get them for half the price of something like Claude or GPT, but at the same time, it falls pretty short. I also couldn't access any benchmarks or anything. I'm seeing there's image generation from Rita here.